What's going on, y'all? It's your boy GP, and you're rocking with me on the Aqua Method Podcast. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, GrasshopperGP, Instagram, GrasshopperGP, both of which spelled normally, no special characters, numbers, emojis, underscores, anything crazy like that. Just GrasshopperGP, Instagram, and Twitter. Send me an email at grasshoppergp@yahoo.com for any types of sponsorships, advertisements, or if you just have something nice to say about the podcast. I really appreciate it. Or if you have any questions you want me to answer on the podcast, send them at grasshoppergp@yahoo.com. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all for rocking with me for so long. Thank y'all for listening to the show, watching the show, all that good stuff. You are listening to this episode on Grasshopper GP Official. That's Grasshopper with 3 S's because when I made the account, I couldn't spell. Grasshopper GP Official with 3 S's is the YouTube account. Only 3 S's in the YouTube account. The other accounts are spelled normally. I just couldn't spell when I made the YouTube account. And I'm still coming down from that cold I had. Like my right ear it sounds funny. It sounds like there's something blocking it. So like my voice sounds weird to me, but it is what it is, and I'm slowly getting over this cold, this sickness of mine. So we're gonna keep working and we're gonna keep rocking out. Today I have a very special guest. You heard her before. Her name's Anna. She's a very amazing woman. Very smart, world traveled. I admire this woman a lot. She's very special. She's a very good friend of mine. We went to college together. Check out the last episode for all the details and all that good stuff. But she's a very cool chick, and I'm very glad to have her on the show once again. And who knows what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure it out because this is the AquaMethod Podcast. It's free-flowing, and no focus is the focus. So there you have it. And let me get her on the phone because she is, I don't even know where she is right now. I'm pretty sure, I think she's in Alabama right now, but who knows? Knowing Anna, she can very well be in Monaco. So we'll see. So we're gonna put her on the phone right now, and we'll get started.
Hello.
Hey Anna, what's going on?
Hey, not too much. Just been sorting through some emails. Same old, same old.
You are live on air. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
I was just telling the listeners I'm coming off a cold. So
I heard on the last episode. Boy, you were sounding rough.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to work through it, man. It's rough, but I'm getting better slowly but surely.
So what have you been doing to try to get rid of the cold?
Well, no matter how old you get, you're always gonna be your mother's child. So my mom suggested that I get Zyrtec, and she wanted me to update her periodically with my progress, and you know how moms are.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Just that, and making sure that my hands are sanitized because I work at a news station and I'm touching a lot of buttons and I don't want nobody getting sick behind me.
Yes. Last time I went to the doctor with a cold, it was pretty ridiculous. I mean, this dude, he knew what he was talking about. He has his MD and he has like a master's in public health, so he knows the deal. But the way he said it to me was just a little mean. That he told me that it was ridiculous that I had come in, but I had to go in because I was working with patients, and I had to just go, let them test me for whatever it was to make sure it wasn't something else. And he's like, this was a total waste of your insurance dollars. Here's a quick fact sheet on what you need to do, and you're not helping anybody by being here. I was like, okay. Well, thank you.
Well, it's interesting because I guess they don't teach you that in when you're working on your doctorate bedside manner. Some of them have it, some of them don't.
Right.
Yeah, some of them and some of them have it to a fault. Some of them are too nice, and they'll prescribe things that you don't really need. Like I have a great personal doctor, and I like her a lot, but she always suggests that I get Fiber One cereal, that I eat that a lot, and that I take vitamin D pills.
Okay.
Yeah, because but like you could get vitamin D naturally from the sun. You know, you could just go. I guess I could just go outside more, and But yeah, I'm like, once I figured it out, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna spend my money on these vitamin D pills anymore. I'm just gonna get whatever I need that really ails me.
Well, vitamin D could be beneficial. I mean, I
Yeah.
see where she or he is coming from, but you know, it's just one of those things that they're gonna tell you what they're gonna tell you, and I think the dude was probably right. I just didn't appreciate how he said it.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
most everybody's gonna get a cold at least once or twice a year, and you know, the only thing that you're doing by being there is possibly infecting other people, or not being there, you're reducing other people from potentially getting something that they're going to get anyway. So he's like, it's 6 one, half dozen another.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter.
See,
like, okay.
I just get really mad that I'm sick, and I just wish that I could find out who made me sick, so that we could have a discussion, and I could, you know, release my frustration that I am in this misery upon this person.
Yeah, that would be an interesting life. You end up getting a cold, and then if you knew who gave you the cold,
Yep.
oh boy.
Yep.
Somebody may be coming after you.
Right. Think about it, like, what if it was like that, like the Minority Report, and like I knew who gave me a cold, but that person knew who gave him or her a cold, and it would just be like this large, sprawling spider web of misery that only increases exponentially because, you know, like misery only begets more misery.
Well, you know, or you could take it on a positive level, and whoever gave you the cold needs to tend to you, and then you tend to the person that you gave the cold to.
That is nice. That is very cool. I like that. And that could be like some sort of viral Tinder. You know, like a virulent Tinder. Like that's how you meet your significant other. You have to take care of the person that you made sick, and you know, and that's how it works out.
Could be good. Could be bad. Could be good.
Could be bad too. Yeah, but see, then people would manipulate it by coughing on people they found attractive.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you walk up to a pretty girl or a pretty man and be like, and just like, you know, coughing on the in their Starbucks, and then and make them sick, and then that would be disingenuous.
That'd be funny though, the how we met story. Well, I saw her in the elevator and I coughed on her. We've been together ever since.
Yep. And 6 years later, here we are with 2 kids.
Mhm.
So yeah. So you was on the show a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
Your show actually did very well, which I think is awesome. How many people did you tell about it, and what was their response?
I posted it to Facebook, and I told kind of all of my friends and colleagues. So I feel like the response was pretty good. I didn't get anything super specific other than, hey, that's really cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get to do that? Well, I know cool people. You just need to know cool people.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. But no, it was a lot of fun, and like I said, your episode did very well, and it was good to have you on. I was just wondering if anybody that came up to you specifically and was like, "Oh, that's cool," and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you got me about the time that I moved back to Alabama.
Right.
So I'm kind of getting in the groove down here.
So that's where you are right now. And I was telling the listeners, I'm not entirely sure where she is. She could be anywhere. She could be in Monaco, or Milan, or Uzbekistan. Who knows?
Well, next month I go on my world tour. I'm starting in New Orleans. Then I'm going after New Orleans. I'm going to Vancouver, British Columbia, and then I'm flying from Vancouver to Las Vegas, and then I got to come back to Alabama eventually. And I have to go to DC again.
What's the reason why you're doing this?
So DC, I'm going back. I'm a member of the Student Academy of Audiology Board of Directors, and we're going up there for a big strategic planning meeting. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm going to New Orleans for the Louisiana Academy of Audiology meeting. I mean, it's a good excuse. You know, the conference takes place in the French Quarter, so it's a nice time to kind of go back, see some people, catch up with some friends that are around that area. Vancouver is another conference. It's the World Congress of Audiology. I got a paper accepted there, and I'm going to go present up there. And then I'm headed to Las Vegas for one of the kind of industry people in audiology. It's called Audiology Group, and they have their big team summit in Las Vegas. They bring all these providers together, bring in some big name speakers, and teach some good leadership and good practice management strategies. So.
Well, that's cool. So you say you wrote a paper, and that got you into Vegas?
Yeah, I as part of my degree, I have to complete, or at least my clinical doctorate, I have to complete a research project. And as part of that research project, they encourage us to kind of write it up and go present at places. So I've got a poster presentation up there that I'll just be presenting on what my study was. So.
Well, that's cool. What is the basis on this research project? Like, what was it about?
The gist of it is because obviously in audiology we deal with hearing aids quite a bit, and I mean I'm sure a lot of people who know people who have hearing aids, particularly adult patients, a lot of people don't use them. Statistics are dismal on usage and uptake, and so I did a little study to see what kind of predicting factors there were for people who wore their hearing aids more versus those who wore them less. So that's pretty much it.
Well, that's
but
cool.
Out of that one, we collected data out of Santa Barbara, California, so we got to go to Santa Barbara to go get some retrospective chart review things going on. So that was lots of fun.
That's cool. Have you because I wanted to get you in on the show some time ago during the we had this period of just nothing but tragedies involving civilians and police officers. I just wanted to get your take on that for a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like all of that has been absolutely awful. I feel so bad for those families, those affected on both sides. Whether it's the cops or the innocent civilians who were affected by those. I mean, it's absolutely awful what's going on, and sometimes I start thinking about some of the things that I learned back in my liberal arts education and French and some of their history, that the relationship in parts of Europe, particularly parts that were affected by the Nazi regime way back in the day, have a very very large amount of disdain for cops and for any authority figures, understandably so, because of everything that happened at that point in history. And it's just interesting because I've been places in Europe where it's almost like the people rule in a certain way. That I was in a bar at one point, and there was a bar fight broke out.
Oh, wow.
And the cop would not set foot in the bar. The cop stood outside of the bar saying, "Y'all come out here, stop that."
Wow.
And so, I mean, it's it's a totally different thing over there. That it's just interesting to see. It's almost like we're moving towards that commonality.
How did that experience? How did you feel during that experience?
I mean, I guess after working in a bar in Louisiana for long enough that it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was greatly in danger. But it was just a fist fight. There were no firearms involved. So
no, I mean, how did it feel seeing the cops refusing to go inside and try to rectify the situation?
Well, I thought it was bizarre.
Right.
I thought it was absolutely bizarre. That I just didn't even know what to think about it, because I was like, why is he not coming in? Like,
right.
Can he not come in? Like,
right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And so I didn't really ask that much about it, but I would be interested to know why it was that he could not come inside. I mean, is it something that because it's private property that he's not allowed in there? I don't know.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, I was thinking about it too, and it was it was because like I work at the news station, so like we was getting updates as soon as it was coming, and we had to report on it, and we had to let people know what was going on and stuff like that. And it was just like every day it was something new, and like it was like almost cartoonish, like we would go into work and there'll be another one, a brand new one, and we wasn't finished talking about the last one. And it was a really sad situation. And my mom was always talking to me and call every time it would happen like clockwork. She would call me up and be like, "Glenn, I just want you to be safe out there. I know you're a grown man, and I just want you to be safe. If you get stopped, just don't move and stuff like that."
Mhm.
It's just and there's no perfect answer, and I think there is. I mean, there might be some remnants or some element of racism, but I don't think that's the main focus or the main driving behind that. I just think that cops need to be better trained or better weeded out, better filtered for those who have any sort of lack of emotional fortitude, you know.
Yeah, I think training would probably help ameliorate the situation some, absolutely. And I mean, most for most things, the first line of defense is in education. So making sure that people are educated on the matter, and then making sure that, like you said, training opportunities are available to them, so that when crisis does hit, that fear doesn't take over.
Right.
But I think that that's really what drives most of this is just a fear,
Yeah.
and we revert back to primitive tendencies, and that's we're in the 21st century now. Come on,
Right.
But I understand that lizard brain takes over sometimes, but we got to do better than that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think there's a lot more progressive people out there than regressive, and I think it'll take a while, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Mhm.
We'll get there. But
Yeah, but the thing that I think that was, good about all of that is how everybody came together in different ways. That we have to find unity and solidarity in crisis like that, and I think that it shows the fortitude of the American people. It
yeah.
really does.
But other than that, another thing that was going on that was really popping off, I think, or at least our news coverage of it has slowed down a little bit. It's still a big deal. This the Pokemon Go thing. How are you into that or what?
The Pokemon or
Yeah.
whatever. I
Yeah.
listened to that episode too. That was absolutely hilarious.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Was
it.
that what was his name? Jeff?
Yeah, Mr. Jeff. Yeah, he runs the
Mr.
comic book
Jeff.
shop down here.
Oh my goodness, he is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so that's been going on. So I knew a little bit about it, and the first real, because I don't participate in that, but the first real encounter with it that I had was we were all in Washington D.C. last time for our last board meeting, and we were out at one of the little squares close to our hotel that has all these shops and stuff to do, and part of our group just diverted and went to go chase Pokemon.
Yeah.
And by the time we were waiting on the shuttle to go back to the hotel, and we couldn't find them. Like, they were lost off in Pokemon land somewhere trying to catch stuff, and we had to go hunt them down before we left without them.
Right.
So, and I guess in that way it could be dangerous. You could get left behind, stranded. But yeah, I guess I've seen quite a few people doing it. There was a patient not too long ago that had children that were playing and all this stuff. So I don't know. It's taken everybody by storm. But I will say this, that I've been getting increasing amounts of emails and warnings from various police departments saying, hey, watch out, people are robbing people
Yeah.
and doing stuff That's awful.
Yeah, they're using the game to lure people into to come into a specific area because you can go to the area and get like prizes and stuff like that. Um, and those areas can be set up by individuals, so an individual could set that up, bring people to a spot and stick them up. But that's unfortunate. I mean, they're just bad people.
Yeah,
But so,
I've learned a lot about it though.
are you into it? Or are you part of the craze or what?
I never really participated in that when it was just cards, and
Right.
so it's not something that I really grew up with and did a whole bunch of. But I did hear you say on one of your episodes that you were into it, and you're mad now because it's cool.
Right. Yeah. No, I was I was into it. I was into it as a kid, and it was very cool. And when it was young and innocent, and then it went and became popular and stuff. Now all these hipsters are doing it, and like I was looking on Facebook and girls that used to pick on people who played Pokemon are now into Pokemon. I'm like, man, stop it, man. You could have did that 20 years ago. Now you want to do it at 28, 29.
Uh-huh. Bandwagon.
Bandwagon, man, bandwagon. It was fun. It was fun back then. Now you want to do it now.
Mhm.
Man, that's how it is. But I'm not into it because, like I said in the episode, I've kept abreast of it. I've been, in the culture. I've been looking at it, and they got a new game coming out, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I just like to see what the new characters are gonna look like, what the new the designs of them.
Yeah.
And but I don't buy the games anymore, and I don't collect the cards. I haven't collected the cards in gotta be at least 15 years. And
well, yeah.
But it's cool to see, but like I'm just not into it anymore. I mean, and now with the game, and you got to walk around and you got to do stuff, and I'm like, I don't have time for it. And I know I don't have time for it. That means you certainly don't have time for it. Like I mean, driving around and then battling with people with different colors. I'm not with that, man. and at first it was because the fact that you gotta link it up with your accounts and all that stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't want these people knowing where I'm at all the time and all that stuff,
right.
and I'm cool on that.
Yeah, I hear you. I think the only thing that I wish I would have done is bought stock, because I think Nintendo owns it. They bought it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have bought stock in Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Right before that happened, because their stock jumped out of the roof.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
this.
And it's only going to get bigger. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it sure isn't.
But yeah, so that's going on. I'm not on that. I'm not on that wave. And I think I might have some sort of. I mean, you're a doctor. Maybe you could tell me. I might have some sort of psychological problem because
I'm
I
not
had
a
this.
doctor yet.
Almost. But because like people are always into things, and I'm not into them because people are into them. Like I remember like when Breaking Bad was coming out. You know Breaking Bad, the TV show?
Oh yeah.
You a fan?
Yeah, I watched maybe the first few seasons,
Okay.
and then I haven't picked it back up since.
It's a pretty big deal, and it was when it came out and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't know, cause like everybody's into it, so it can't be good. So I'm not with it. And I wound up getting Netflix, and I wound up falling in love with the show, so I watched the whole thing. But people are telling me to watch Walking Dead. I ain't really with no zombies, so that's gonna miss me. And like this Pokemon Go thing, everybody's into it, and I'm just not. I think like it might be like if everybody else is into it, I'm not into it. So it might be like some sort of psychological mental block I got.
Well, I don't know about a psychological mental block, but here's my theory on all of this, that I think it's interesting, particularly with TV shows, that nowadays, I mean, I remember when I was younger, that I would go to watch parties for The Sopranos. Everybody would get together and everybody would sit down and watch it. And, the same thing happened with Breaking Bad, that I had friends that would all pile into apartments and watch it together. So I think that for that, and perhaps the Pokemon Go and anything else that's kind of like this that is a kind of craze. That I think part of that is just people, because we live in such a digital world now, that this is a new way of social interaction and community. And it's weird.
Yeah, it is. It's a new social community now. But it's interesting because it does bring people together. But
Yeah.
there's so much of it that you could tailor your digital life to suit exactly your needs.
Mhm.
So like you could have an experience that is wholly your own, entirely your own. So it could I think it could actually separate people more, but it doesn't, which is good.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or, that you have the people that sit at home and watch on Netflix, and then, like, what was it? The Mad Men. You remember that show? That one was on Netflix.
Oh
That
yeah,
was the
Mad
one.
Men.
Yeah, Mad Men. That one, there were people that were on blogs that were talking about costuming and storylines and thematics and all of this stuff, that even despite everybody was sitting at home watching this alone or on Netflix or something, that they were participating in some kind of community outside of that. So yeah, I just think that's interesting, that even if you're sitting at home alone watching Netflix, that there's still, like you said, a personalized for you um, community that's out there that's engaging with the same things that you are.
Yep. But since you're a doctor, you don't have that much time, and
I'm not a doctor.
you don't have that much time for things. What are you interested in when you're not working and you're not studying?
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So I do watch a lot of Netflix. That's kind of my wind down time at night. That I'll give myself maybe an hour at the end of the day. Watch the news in the morning, of course. But other than that, most of the time I just end up reading um, anything I can get my hands on. Some of the stuff that I've been reading here recently is been trying to pick up some kind of theory, social theory, pertaining to some of the stuff that's been going on here in the U.S. recently. Just trying to, you know, read something that an expert in that field has been saying. So that's been cool. But yeah, I mostly lie on nonfiction when I read. Sometimes fiction, but yeah, most of the time it's nonfiction. And other than that, do a little yoga sometimes,
That's cool.
and I took up golf
Come on.
about 2 years ago.
Yeah, what brought that about? What made you want to do that?
I got a set of golf clubs off of Craigslist for cheap. That's what happened.
Oh wow.
No, no, I just had some friends that were playing, and I decided that that was kind of cool, and being an ex-gymnast, something that's because that was all I did growing up was gymnastics, and you understand with everything with the Olympics and everything that this kind of comes to a head again, that it's a very individual sport, and you can still play team, but your performance is solely on you.
Yeah.
And because that kind of sports atmosphere is what I'm used to, I felt like golf was a pretty good fit too. That you're kind of on your own game, but you can play a scramble with others. But at the end of the day, that's it's on you and only you to perform the best that you can. So
Yeah. That's interesting. So you had like this. You had competitive juices that you needed to let loose.
right, and I think that it's something interesting that you know I'm sure there's other sports that you can compare this to, but in gymnastics, you're always competing kind of against yourself. You're competing against that 10-0 score, that you're vying for perfection in every way. And, golf's kind of the same way, that, you're trying to under par and, try to have a perfect game. So,
You mentioned the Olympics. Have you been keeping up with that or what?
I have been trying my best to. I really have. Let's see, what have I watched a little bit of? I watched some of the synchronized diving. the other day.
How
That
was
was
that?
interesting. Uh, the thing that I was kind of disappointed with was, I mean, I guess it's hard when you're trying to do the same thing that the other person is doing, that you can't do all of these crazy tricks and stuff.
Right.
But I felt like the dives were pretty simplistic. But I couldn't get out there and do it, so that maybe that's me being judgy. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just like it's kind of a. I mean, it takes a lot of athleticism and it takes a lot of training, but it just looks silly jumping and moving at the same time as somebody else. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of synchronized diving.
Well, did you see Bill Murray's post? Something, I think it was a Twitter post or Facebook post not too long ago, since the Olympics has started up again. And what he said is, he said, I think for all of the Olympic events, just for reference, we need a person, a layman out there trying to do the same thing, just for reference.
Right.
I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, we could sit here all day and be like, oh, that, that looks dumb, but then I could try to get up there and do that, and that would just be a total disaster.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare. I know I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I was looking at I've seen table tennis, fencing. I was looking at fencing, and watching fencing was very frustrating because I'm like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm trying to figure out with a lot of these sports that we don't promote heavily in America. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you could kind of gauge the rules of it, you know. But like fencing, I'm looking at it, and they was talking about he didn't have his feet in the right of way, and I'm thinking about like right of way, like driving, and then he was talking about and like I'm looking at, and they just swinging this wobbly sword around, and they hitting each other at the same time, and they both think that they won because they're hitting each other at the same time, and I was watching it, and because we had a guy that was going for gold, he wound up getting silver, but I was just, it was like, I don't know what's going on, and I just can't watch it. I just can't look at this.
That's probably how the rest of the world feels when they watch American football.
You think so?
I am an American, and there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't even know why they're doing this. It's because they're at a different point in the game and a different part of the field, and the rules change and all of this stuff. I don't even understand. I'm just like,
I don't know.
It went in, somebody caught it in the end zone, that's good. Stand up and cheer.
But see, it's a little more cut and dry with the football as opposed to something like fencing, because like football or soccer or any of these sports with a ball, like the ball has to get to a place, and that's how points are scored.
Right.
With this fencing thing, I'm seeing them hit each other I'm seeing them stab it in the neck and then in the chest, and one counts for more points than the other one, and then they got these masks. Their mask lights up red, green, or white, and those colors indicate who. I don't know. I'm just so confused. I don't know. I just know that I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
Yeah, I didn't watch any fencing. Let's see. I tried to watch some of the gymnastics, of course, women's. I'm just so proud of that team, though. Boy, they did so wonderful. And it's sad because Marta Caroli, that's going to be her last Olympic team for us. So,
Yeah.
But I think the future's bright there for USA Gymnastics. Watch some of the swimming. Michael Phelps doing his thing again.
I missed it. I missed that one. I saw a lot of swimming. I saw Katie Ledecky and a couple of other ones, but I missed Michael Phelps. I haven't seen Michael Phelps swim yet.
I don't know how he does it. I really don't. And I wonder if anybody's ever going to match him in the amount of Olympic medals ever.
Well, he has 21 gold, and the next closest is 9. So I'm gonna say no on that. Like there's like 5 people tied with 9 medals, and he's way above him with 21. And he might. I thought he was retiring, but apparently he didn't. So who knows? In 4 years when they go to Tokyo, maybe he'll do it again. You know, he has more rings than over 100 countries. I mean, he has more gold medals than over 100 countries.
I believe that. I
Yeah,
believe it.
over 100 countries. But yeah, so the Olympics is going on, and it was in Rio, and I'm sure you heard about all the bad stuff about Rio. How you feel about that?
Um,
Have you been to
I
Brazil?
think
Oh, you have, huh?
what I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I have, however, interviewed some people that have gone down to Brazil for some audiology charity work, some philanthropic work down there. And so I know a few things. And I think, did you watch the opening ceremonies and all of that stuff before? Like world news that night before the opening ceremonies? I think that they did a they did a nice job in letting Americans in as to what's going on. That all you see on TV are these beautiful swimming arenas and soccer arenas and all of that, but right outside of the Olympic Games is such profound poverty
Yeah.
and huge social issues. And I think that that's something that I appreciated that the world news did, at least, that they kind of got out there and said, look, keep in mind as all of this is going on that some of these people are in turmoil 2 miles down the road.
Yeah. It's there is a big disparity, like it's disparaging between what you see and what's really going on behind the scenes. Like right before I got on the phone with you, I was looking at Real Sports on HBO, and they did this big they did the entire show on Olympics of the past and how bad they were to the people. And I was talking about in Beijing and in Sochi, Russia. They was talking about how people was treated in Beijing. They had the area where the Olympic some of the Olympic venues was held. They tore down people's houses, like, and I'm thinking, like, I mean, that's awful. I'm thinking that's terrible, but surely
Right.
they told these people half a year in advance, like, yo, we're gonna tear down your house to put the stadium here. So y'all got 6 months to get out of here. No, apparently they just in the dead of night, if you were sleeping, they was gonna wake you up with sledgehammers. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, I just saw that, and it was like it's like really like so. I mean, it makes you really think. I was like really appreciative of being an American, because like that just won't happen here. It just can't happen here. And
Right.
but apparently this they was like it was called a purge. Ironically enough, it was called a purge, and they was taking people out of their homes, and if they had a problem with it, they was going to jail.
Mm-mm.
Yep. And
Oh, my goodness.
they tried to they would try to hide it by putting sanctions and like media blockades. You can only talk about the positive. You couldn't talk about the negative stuff that was going on in China. And like, I don't know, like, I think, like, and a lot of people have this assumption about the media saying that we only portray the negative stuff, but I mean, when something that negative is that egregious, you got to talk about it. I mean, the Olympics do a lot of good, but there's a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of corruption that goes on with the Olympic Committee and stuff like that.
Well, I think some of that too. I don't know if this is true for China, but I know a lot of countries in Asia. Um, I've had some friends that have gone over there, and they said that they've been in gridlock traffic, and nobody is honking, nobody is yelling at anyone, because the way that their culture is, if you yell at someone, if you're mean, if you're kind of disruptive, then it's shameful, and in some places I think you can be jailed for that.
Yeah.
And so perhaps, that positive spin is just a kind of branch off of that vein, that you do not speak ill of what's going on. And like you said, though, I mean, a lot of people say that we've got to, we publicize the negative, but I think there's room for both.
Yeah.
To make a truly educated public.
Yeah, it's just like it just because like I love the Olympics because it brings at least for every 4 years like the World Cup, it makes everybody stop being black, stop being white, stop being rich and poor, gay, straight, whatever. It just makes us American, and that's what I like the most about the Olympic Games. Like we're all rooting for the best of our athletes to compete against the best of other people's athletes, and we stop worrying about the superfluous stuff.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and that's what I like about the Olympics. It just, but like I wouldn't want that patriotism to come at the cost of human decency. In
Right.
other countries. And I mean, but you like I said, I'm an American. I've been here my whole life. Like you don't see how bad other people have it, even in countries we wouldn't necessarily consider the third world. Like
Right.
some industrialized and upper level countries, they still got it bad because the government treats them like cattle, like property
Mhm.
to be lorded over, and that's I'm just like I was looking at that documentary and I'm like, man, I'm just glad that I was born here.
Yes.
And we complain about this, and we complain about the silliest things too, and like the election and stuff like that. Like I mean, we could have it a lot worse. That's how I feel
Yes,
about it.
absolutely. Yeah, you hear people complain about eminent domain, and regardless of how anybody feels about that, at least somebody gave somebody notice,
Right.
and there's some kind of process involved with that instead of sending a sledgehammer through your window at midnight.
Yep. Yep.
Then surprise.
Yeah, that would be pretty scary. And I tried to like I was looking at it. And I was trying to imagine that happening here. Now I don't have a house. I live in an apartment. But like imagine somebody just kicking in my door and telling me I had to leave like right now immediately. I mean, and like if I tried to fight it, I would get locked up. I can't imagine that.
If you were made to leave your apartment, what would you take with you? If you had like 5 seconds, 5 minutes to
5 minutes.
gather your stuff,
That's a
what
good
would you
question.
take with you?
I'm gonna give you mine, and I want you to answer your own question.
Okay.
I'm taking anything that relates to money. Like I'm taking all my cards, my checks, anything like that. I'm taking my hard drives, my laptop. That's 3. Um, honestly, funny thing, I'm taking my degree because that means a lot to me that I got one. I don't want
Yeah.
that. I'm taking my degree with me. That's 4. And 5th thing, that's all I really care about here. That's the only thing. Those are the only things I really don't want to leave. I guess I'm taking my microphone and my recording equipment. You know, that's it. I mean, everything else I could replace.
Yeah.
I got some. I'm looking at it now. I got some. I got like this portfolio of stuff when I was working on my because I majored in broadcasting, but I got a minor in visual art. So I got my portfolio of my work for my college work. I kind of like that stuff. That's stuff that can't be replicated. So stuff like that. But if I had to choose between that and my microphone, I would take my artworks too.
Yeah.
I'd buy me another microphone. But my hard drive, that's coming with me. That's got all my memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
definitely true.
You got
Well, I
5 minutes
I
before
think
the
that's.
government kicks in your house and
Oh,
tells you got to go. What you taking?
oh my goodness. Well, I think some of the things that you said are pretty interesting. The hard drive thing. That's. I think that's on up there. There's a lot of stuff you don't want to lose, so that's. I would probably do that too. I'd pick up my laptop and a charger and run. Um, let's see. Family photos
Mm-hmm.
and anything kind of related to that. If there's any kind of heirlooms hanging around and stuff like that from ancestors past, I would definitely gather that up, because I think I would go with a little bit more sentimental thing. That let's see, what else would I take? Ooh. See, I don't have any art or anything. I mean, that I did, so that I'd probably take some books. I'd definitely bring a Bible with me, and other than that, some other of my favorite books, because that's just crazy. I'm a bibliophile, so my books are my treasure.
Right. All right.
Let's see. So that's what? Computer, family photos, books. I mean, you'd think I'd bring money, of course. Yeah, I'd bring money with me, whatever kind of something that either I could make into money or money itself. That's 4. What would I take for 5? I don't know. Maybe like a blanket or a pillow or something. Because if I'm sleeping on the streets, I need to figure something out.
That's that's a very good question though, because you really have to think about what's important to you. And I realize like a lot of stuff that I have is not important to me.
Right. Yeah. It's funny that I was talking to somebody, I don't know if it was a patient or if it's somebody that I work with not too long ago, and they told me something really interesting. That they said, think about it like this: if all of what you had tomorrow is what you were thankful for today, what would you have? So like, how often do you go, I'm thankful for my computer and my internet, and poof, it was gone tomorrow?
Right.
Like, if you weren't thankful for it today, it would be gone tomorrow. Roads, cars, electricity, running water. I mean, just think about that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a deep thought. But no, I think the stuff that you would take, which is like good choices. I don't think well, like I guess if I had a pet or something, I would take it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, look at you. That was a good one. I might have to take that for another episode. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean to do that to you. I kind of did a little reverse on you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Cause like you already did the 4, 3, 2, 1. I can't do that to you.
Oh, I'm exempt now.
Well, cause like you already did the one. Like I always use the same one, so I don't have any other 4, 3, 2, 1s to give you.
Oh man.
And you done been everywhere on planet Earth, so I can't say name a couple places that you want to go. All right, if you were to be in Brazil right now, you were to be at the Olympics, where would you want to what games would you want to see?
For the Olympics?
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so obviously I go for gymnastics. Something else that I think is cool that I think they just added as a sport probably within the last 10, 20 years is trampoline. I think that's so cool. They get out there and they bounce and they flip around and do all of this fun stuff. I think that's pretty neat. Let's see. They put golf back. I know nobody likes to watch golf, but I'm crazy. I like to watch golf, so I think that would be cool. I can only imagine watching a golf match on the shores of Rio de Janeiro. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Let's see. I'm trying to think about all of the different sports and everything. Tennis would be cool.
Yeah, tennis would be cool. I think beach volleyball would be kind of nice to see. I would part like being American in the sports that I'm accustomed to. I kind of want to say I would watch a lot of basketball, but I don't think it'd be interesting because like we're just running over these teams. Like America just played Australia, and that might have been the best game. We only beat them by 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness, yeah, we do. We bulldoze over them though.
Yeah, the other two, I think we played China and Venezuela, and we beat them by, I think, an average of 40 points, 35 points, something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like it just wouldn't be interesting.
Who all is playing this year? I didn't even see the lineup. I know Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, Carmelo's in there, Klay Thompson's in there, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Harrison Barnes, DeAndre Jordan, DeMarcus Cousins. Who else? Some Toronto Raptors, DeRozan, a couple like not. I mean, all stars, big names, but not the big names. Like LeBron's not there, Steph Curry's not there. You know,
Right.
Russell Westbrook isn't there, stuff like that.
There's nothing like some of those dream teams, though. I'm trying to think what year it was, because where you had like Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan.
That was 90. That was 92.
Johnson. 92.
I think
Was
so.
it really that long ago?
I think it was 92. 92
I'm
or
showing my
96, one of them
age.
years. Yeah, I was 92. If it was 92, I was 4.
Oh, wow. I guess I've been watching it that long.
But that's cool.
I mean, that was the dream team, though.
It was 1992. I didn't. So you're a big sports fan? How much of a sports fan are you?
I feel like I'm a pretty big sports fan.
Yeah.
The majority of what I watch, of course, being from Alabama originally, we don't have any pro football teams around, so the religion is college football.
Yeah, don't let people from Alabama say that. I hear you say that. That's a professional team right there.
It is. So yeah, I watch a lot of college football on the weekends in the fall. Saturdays are sacred pretty much. That I will be found sitting there queuing up stuff on the TV, reminders all over the place, trying to get ready.
Since you didn't go to Auburn or Alabama, and you put it on TV, who you more likely to watch?
Most of the time, I actually, so growing up in Alabama, despite the fact whether you go to one of these universities or not, you have to choose a side.
Right.
You're required.
Yeah.
So when we moved to Alabama, I think I was 3, and by the time I started kindergarten, really, they force you to make a choice. Like, there's an Auburn, Alabama day at school, and everybody wears their gear.
Wow.
So, like, you're forced to choose. So,
that's interesting.
In true 5-year-old fashion, there was a really cute boy in my class. He was an Auburn fan, and you betcha, I chose Auburn.
Oh.
And once you choose, it's done.
Yeah.
So I root for Auburn though. Love the Auburn family. War Eagle.
Wow, that's so funny. That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What wound up happening to that little boy? Do you know your friends on Facebook or something like that?
I think he's still around Alabama or one of the surrounding states here. His aunt was actually my gymnastics coach. Believe that or not.
All right, well, there you have it. That's funny. I mean, like that's just how life goes. That's just how stories get told, and that's how the tapestry of the book that is your life gets written.
Yes, and I will stand by my choice though.
That's good.
I'm sorry, Alabama fans, but sometimes y'all get a little obnoxious, and I'm glad that I take part in the Auburn family instead.
I can imagine. Like I can't see it. I just can't see it. Cause here in Louisiana, and you've spent enough time here to realize it and to see it. It's all LSU here, and I'm not an LSU fan at all. People have heard me say that on this show. I'm not an LSU fan because I didn't go there. I went to UL, so that's where my loyalty lies. But
that's right.
But there's no competition for LSU. There's no second LSU. Like in Alabama, there's Alabama and Auburn, and unless you talk to fans of one of those schools, on the outside looking in, it's pretty much equal in terms of power, like in terms of size.
Right.
You know what I mean? In terms of the power they have over the people in the state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the entire, like, everybody's an LSU fan here, and like I feel like the people who aren't are in a minority. I feel like most of the people that are just bandwagon fans, you know, because they're scared to be free thinkers. Being real, that's what I think. I think like you know, you didn't go to LSU. Why do you care so much about the school you didn't go to? And talking about, and like the thing that aggravates me the most is when they say we. Like
yep.
there is no we. There is a they. When I talk about LSU, it is they, because there are people who got degrees from LSU who sat in those classes. They deserve to say we. I ain't part of this we.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, it's the same thing in Alabama too. That there's so many people that have never even set foot on the campus that are like that.
Yeah, no, see, I imagine it's a lot worse there. I imagine there's a lot more people who've never even considered going to school who are the biggest Alabama fans or Auburn fans.
I will say though, I did take some classes through Auburn Montgomery, so I have some affiliation.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So, at least I can say that, right? I can still rep that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Absolutely. I mean,
all right.
You do it like, my thing is, I'm about peace. You do what you want to do. I should just have the right to say that I disagree with it. You know what I mean? Like, yes. I hate people in Lafayette wearing purple and gold. Like, we got a school right here with the second biggest school. I say it all the time, second biggest school in Louisiana. And people talk about us like we a damn community college, and it aggravates me. Like, no, you can get a damn good degree at UL. And did
I ever tell you? You may have been in the class with me. That there was a professor one time that told everybody on the first day of class, this is at UL, told everybody on the first day of class, do not, and I repeat, do not wear anything LSU into my classroom. You'll find out what happens.
That sounds familiar, and I think it was at that point, or a point similar to that made me be like, yeah, you're right, F LSU.
You know what happened though?
What?
Some dude came strolling in an LSU T-shirt one day.
Yeah.
And she made this dude get up in front of the class, disrobe, take off his T-shirt,
oh wow,
turn it inside out, and put it back on. And you want to know what that shirt says when you turn it inside out?
What?
USL.
Oh, that's awesome! Yay! How about that?
And I was like, okay,
that's
all right,
cool.
I can deal with that.
That's cool. What, you remember what class this was? Because that kind of sounds familiar, but I'm not entirely sure.
It was a Spanish class. I'm not going to give away the person who did it.
All right. You're not going to give away the student who did it? Or the teacher?
Not the student, the teacher, yeah.
Okay.
But I would imagine, though, that as much school spirit as we have, the dean or the provost would probably uphold that decision. But who knows?
Right. You never know. That does sound familiar. We did take a lot of classes together. I'm pretty sure there were they English classes, or maybe they were Spanish classes. I can't remember.
It could have been English. I don't know.
It was those are cool classes. Those are cool times though.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So do you keep in touch? Do you keep yourself aware of UL happenings and UL sports and stuff like that?
I do, absolutely. I try to stream in every single UL football game that I can, because sometimes it's not televised, and so I'll hop on ESPN Go and watch it. I kind of subscribe to most of their Facebook stuff for sports and everything. I keep up pretty well with the softball team, because they're always amazing. Baseball team did really well this year, and I haven't had a chance to go back down there and look at all of the renovations on campus. Last time I was there, they were still redoing the Union.
Right.
So I haven't seen any of the I guess I've seen some of the new dorms, but I haven't seen the new union. I haven't seen all of the things that they did to the quad. That I'm just so happy that they have done so much beautification on that campus, because it was always a beautiful campus, but they have just done so much aesthetically for it, and I'm proud to say that my tuition helped pay for that. Whoop.
I'm a little jealous because that would have been cool to see when I was there, but like when we was making our way out, they were starting the renovation, so it wasn't like we were part of the generation that was going through this large upheaval,
Right.
So,
but at the same time, though, like I said, you and we made that happen.
Yep.
It was our tuition dollars that caused that to happen, and so I'm happy with that.
I'm also mad that I was the last, my graduating class was the last class to get black robes. Everybody else gets red robes. I want a red robe.
You wanted the red?
Yes.
That red is awful.
Oh, why you say that?
That red is just so bright, and then they put the fleur-de-lis in totally inappropriate places. I think they should rethink that. I really do. Like, maybe if you're undergraduate, you get black with no fleur-de-lis, and then you get upper degrees, and then you get fleur-de-lis or something. Fleur-de-lis on the back, I don't know. But that red, boy, whew.
You wasn't feeling that, huh?
I'm glad that I got out of there in a black robe. And then when I finished my master's, I too had a black robe again, so I was happy for that one.
Oh, man. Well, my dear friend Anna, my lovely, brilliant, world-traveling friend Anna, we're going to have to disagree on that one. And that's how we're going to end the show. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh, I don't know. It's been real.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time as always. Please stay on the line so I can say goodbye to you when after I wrap this thing up.
All right, sounds good.
All right. And there you have it, folks. That's Anna. All right, there you have it, folks. That's my good friend Anna. Very smart, very brilliant girl. Lady, I should say. World traveler. She's gonna be all around, and she's gonna do amazing things. I call her a doctor, even though she's not a doctor, because she soon will be. So, what else can you say about her? As always, you can follow me on Twitter, GrasshopperGP, Instagram, GrasshopperGP, both of which spelled normally. No special characters, numbers, emojis, underscores, letters, anything crazy like that. GrasshopperGP, Instagram, and Twitter. Send me an email at grasshoppergp@yahoo.com for any types of sponsorships, advertisements. If you have questions you want me to answer on the podcast, or you just have something nice to say about the podcast, I really appreciate it. grasshoppergp@yahoo.com is the place to do it. You are listening to this on GrasshopperGP Official. That's Grasshopper with 3 S's, because when I made the account, I couldn't spell. GrasshopperGP Official with 3 S's is the YouTube account. Only 3 S's in the YouTube account. You can check me out on Facebook, GrasshopperGP. Bandcamp, I got a couple songs on there, GrasshopperGP. Please buy my music, because that's how I know that you like my art. So thank you as always for rocking out with your boy GP. Again, excuse my voice. I'm trying to get over this cold and all that good stuff, and hopefully next time you hear me on the mic, it'll be cleared up. But yeah, so Rio Olympics is going on. I'm gonna get back to watching that. I saw Suicide Squad real quick. I thought that was awful. I ain't like it. And it wasn't awful. It was just bad. If on an A to F scale, I give it a D. It wasn't horrible, but it could have been a lot better. But I'll get into that a little more in depth later, maybe. It's the AquaMethod Podcast. It's your boy GP. It's Anna. Y'all be good.